guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. And some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-5454.
A massive power outage has hit western Cuba. That includes the capital, Havana. The humming sound of generators can be heard throughout the city. Millions of people are without power on an island struggling with chronic outages blamed on a crumbling electric grid. Raul Calderon says there's no internet connection, so we don't know why they're cutting the power now for more than 3 days. The radio does not say anything. It is all silence. This is how we Cubans are living these days. The Cuban Ministry of Energy and Mines blames the outage on a failure on a transmission line that connects two major plants. Luabel Quintana says this country is in very bad shape. To get food is very difficult. This is very hard. We have to fight for everything. The power grid in Cuba is said to be operational, but the government says restoration of electricity would not be immediate. I'm Ed Donahue.
News and analysis, townhall.com. A University of Oklahoma instructor placed on leave in a case that pits academic freedom and free speech against political correctness.
It all happened after a student complained about receiving a failing grade on a paper. The student, Samantha Fulnecki, argued that her paper, which used the Bible to claim that belief in multiple genders is demonic, was unfairly graded. Turning Point USA took up her story and it went viral. This incident is part of a broader debate over academic freedom on college campuses. The university stated that the grade won't affect Fulnecki's academic standing. Keith Peters, Washington.
Venmo says an issue impacting the payment service has been fixed and it is back up and running. This after users had reported some trouble sending and receiving money. Peer-to-peer payment apps have been increasing in popularity over the past decade or so. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning to the John Fredericks Radio Network. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is a special reunion day because here in studio we are reuniting with the original All-Star panelist, the one, the only, Crom Carmichael. Good morning, Crom.
Greetings, kind sir. It seems so long.
It does.
It's been, 2 weeks? But so much has happened.
So much has happened.
In 2 weeks.
And we'll get to it in the Morning Rundown. Crom, the Morning Rundown is brought to you every day at this time.
Boom, boom.
By our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go, Crom. Here's the Morning Rundown for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. Number 1, Matt Van Epps was sworn in as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives this morning. How about that? And so now that brings it to 220 to 213. It was, as Roger Simon described the special election, it was much ado about nothing much, because in the end, it was not a virtual tie, as the push poll from the Emerson poll, The Hill, wanted us to believe. And it wasn't a blowout in the sense of a 20-point victory, but 9 points, that's a pretty solid victory. So congratulations to Congressman Matt Van Epps. Well done. Oh, no, by the way, Afton Bain, who has defeated the far-left lunatic, they've transformed her. Did you see her appearance on her concession speech?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
She's so country.
She suddenly
singing country songs.
Wearing a rhinestone cowgirl outfit.
I tell you what.
and singing Dolly Parton. I'll say singing in quotes, attempting to. I mean, really, don't come to the city you hate, Afton, where everybody can sing just fabulously, and try to sing 9 to 5.
And to be discussed later, though.
Yeah, we'll get to more into that. So there you go. Number 2, Crom. Good news. Our friend State Senator Brent Taylor is talking about this a lot. Crime is down dramatically in Memphis since the Memphis task force has gone there, including the National Guard. It's cut in half, which is great. And so we'll have the details on that with Tom Pappert in hour 2. Number 3, common sense and affordability returning to the production of automobiles. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
The ridiculous fuel standards set by Biden to push everybody to electric vehicles, right, are being, thrown out. And Ford Motor Company is very happy about that.
And to be discussed what that implies also.
Exactly. Number 4, I just have to say that we'll talk more about this Vanderbilt football. Diego Pavia, what a great leader that guy is. What a great quarterback. I do hope he gets invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy Award.
I do too.
I would like to see him win it.
Yes.
But the powers that be may be more Ohio State or Indiana oriented. But I think he deserves it. He also he sent a letter to President Trump. Do you see this?
Oh,
this is so Diego Pavia.
Pavia.
Diego. Okay. So Diego Pavia, we need to have him in studio. Don't you think?
That would be fun.
He's asking President Trump, wait for it, he wants an executive order to expand the college playoffs this year to 16.
Now that's funny.
That's funny.
That's funny.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Number 5, the Tim Walz Somali fraud continues.
Ugh.
It's more than $1 billion, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. We'll have details on that. Number 6, the Democrat senators are clearly playing the insubordination card. And Mark Warner was the latest to talk about it.
To be discussed.
And then number 7, they're clearly trying to take down Pete Hegseth. They're not being very effective at it, but in essence, they're second-guessing literally every military command. And the reason is they want to basically create chaos in our military. So,
to be discussed.
There you go. That's the morning rundown for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. Crom, and you know this, is brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store, our good friend Lenny McGill. I'm sure that many in our listening audience got to take advantage of the great Black Friday prices last week. But if you didn't, don't worry. The Christmas sales, Crom, are right around the corner, and they will be phenomenal. And, of course, I'll let you know as soon as they start. But if you're looking for an excuse to visit GlockStore.com this minute, I've got a great one for you. As you know, Lenny is not only known as that Glock guy, he's also known as the Glock giveaway guy. And for December, they've doubled down. See the alliteration I did there?
Very good.
Double down in December for the Glock giveaway. Yeah. Go to GlockStore.com, buy a tactical Christmas tree sticker or patch, or a red dot reindeer sticker or patch, and you're automatically entered to win either a G45 or G47, both nicely equipped, including with Vortex Optics. Or go to theglockstore.com/VTGG, that's Vortex 2-gun giveaway, and get the complete details, including the no purchase entry instructions. That's my good friend Lenny McGill, and this month's Vortex 2-Glock giveaway sweepstakes only at GlockStore.com. So there you go. Crom, I want to talk a little bit about this. We'll get into more details later. But this Somali fraud in Minnesota is overwhelming. And Jake Tapper, of all people, asked the Somali representative in Congress, who thinks he's really representing Somalia, who allegedly married her brother to get him in here illegally. Ilan Omar. Here is Jake Tapper and Ilan Omar, clip 5.
Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people. You're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
There's over $1 billion of
but she's
pure
also defending the Somalis who committed the fraud. And here's what's interesting, and here's why she's doing it. The country of Somalia is essentially a broken country.
It's a third world blank hole.
No, it's not.
It's
even
not
worse
than that.
It's worse than that.
Yeah.
And the people who survive in Somalia learn how to steal from their own government.
That's
in
a
other
culture.
Words, it's a culture by necessity.
Right.
And so if you live in Somalia, stealing from your government to stay alive is not only normal, it makes
excessive.
sense.
Yeah.
But when that attitude, when that is immigrated into a country where that is not necessary in order to survive and in fact prosper, stealing that is, then it's wrong.
Now,
but they don't think. But Michael, they still don't think it is because
the Somalis don't. Yeah,
the Somalis do not think what they're doing is wrong.
Here's the other part of that. The political leadership in Minnesota sees that 100,000 vote block.
Yes,
and they don't want to. They want their support. Here's the Minnesota police chief talking about the Somali community.
Yeah,
folks that are masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement, that they may be kidnapping people. Like we have had those reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that, that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911. And you should provide as much information as possible, because let's not forget, we very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something everyone should report.
Yeah, stop. You're looking incredulous.
Well, now I'm not trying to defend in any way the policeman that put his knee on the neck of George Floyd, but he didn't purport to be law enforcement. He was law enforcement.
Yeah.
And he was one of that guy's policemen. But here's what's so interesting. I mean, he is literally calling on Somalis to call the police, and then he expects his police to arrest or shoot at ICE agents?
Yeah, that's basically, he elaborated on it. Yeah.
The chief of police go to jail for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Back with more after this.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jared from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted survival food company, wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas. As our gift to you, we've got an amazing deal on survival food kits. Buy one, gift two. That's right, for a limited time, when you grab our best-selling 4-week emergency food kit, we'll include 2 one-week kits free to hand out as gifts. That's 4 weeks of emergency food for you, and 2 ready-to-give gifts for anyone on your list who's into preparedness, or anyone who needs a nudge in that direction. But they're only available for a limited time. Grab yours at mypatriotsupply.com and give the gift of food security this Christmas. With 2,000 calories per day, 16 delicious meal and snack varieties, and up to 25-year shelf life, it's no wonder our 4-week food kit is the best-selling emergency food supply of all time. But the buy one, gift two Christmas special won't last long. So claim yours now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Hey, Crum, the Democrats are clearly trying to undermine Donald Trump and the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and doing everything they possibly can think of to do it. They've changed the tune. Here is Joe Biden talking about drug interdiction back in 1989.
Every president for the past 2 decades, Democrat and Republican alike, has declared war on drugs. And each of them has lost that war and lost it miserably. They lost because they attempted to deal with only part of the drug problem. They lost because their initiatives were pulled apart by bureaucratic squabbling among their advisors. They lost because they always did too little and they did it too late. We don't oppose the president's plan. All we want to do is strengthen it. We don't doubt his resolve. All we want to do is stiffen it. The trouble is that the president's proposals are not big enough to deal with the problem. We think we should do more to stem the flow of drugs across our borders, and we think we should go one step further. Let's go after the drug lords where they live.
Okay, that was Joe Biden in 1989.
Yeah. Let me make I'd like to make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Since Diego Pavia has Trump's ear, and this isn't for Diego to do. That's not his job. But I wish that Donald Trump had, as part of his press conferences, I wish he had a TV screen there so that he could play things like that. It's not just that. It's there's so many that are examples of the hypocrisy or the complete flip-flop of the entire Democrat establishment, and then say, now that you've seen this, I'm having my staff email you this clip and all of the production people at your network so that you all will play it.
Yeah.
Or you can prove that you're unfair by not playing it. Because that's as clear as what the Democrat Party used to stand for when it came to drugs.
Now, that's a good cue for what they stand for today.
Yes.
Here's Senator Mark Warner from Virginia.
Yeah.
unprecedented disrespect when they were all brought to get a pep rally in front of Hegseth and Trump. This is an administration that's fired, uniform generals from the head of the NSA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Mm-hmm. And I think in many ways, the uniform military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth, because I think their commitment is to the Constitution and obviously not to Trump, and I expect Bradley to adhere to that.
Okay, so what he's saying is he's encouraging a military coup.
A military coup.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, how else could you interpret what he said? And then he pulls Bradley out. Well, first of all, what Bradley did was completely lawful. And here's what the Democrats do.
Okay, so just to describe, when you say Bradley, we're talking about the admiral, who this is having to do with the boats run by narco-terrorists where they're smuggling cocaine in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And we bombed them, and apparently in one instance recently, the boat was not destroyed. There were allegedly a couple of survivors.
Survivors isn't the right word. It's just simply not the right word. There were a couple of terrorists who weren't blown up.
There you go.
In the first one. But here's what's also interesting. ABC News reported last night that the people who were not destroyed, the narco-terrorists who were not destroyed in the first one, the first attack, were trying to save.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep rolling.
We're trying to save the boat and save the drugs, and so is that in? Because I saw the clip last night, Martha Radich. Is that incorrect?
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean,
but it's being misinterpreted and used.
What's the point I'm trying to make?
The Democrats are basically trying to say, "Oh, they were survivors," and
I know that
they violated the War Crimes Act.
Yeah, but I mean, they were the same terrorists. They were the same terrorists when the first bomb went in as when the second bomb went in. Same one.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. The point is this. It's the precedents. Barack Obama and Joe Biden both, they killed hundreds of civilians. Well, excuse me. Barack Obama killed hundreds of civilians. Bill Clinton bombed the Chinese embassy when he was trying to help the Serbs, the Muslims in Serbia. He bombed the Chinese embassy by mistake. I get that, but isn't that involuntary manslaughter? When you kill somebody by mistake, isn't that still considered a crime? So what I'm saying is this: is that for the Democrats to claim in this particular case. Now, by the way, this story will die as fast as the. Do you remember the Jeffrey Epstein story?
What story?
Yeah, it's hard to remember because it died when it became clear that Jeffrey Epstein supported Democrats. By the way, did you know that Charles Manson? There's a Charles Manson who gives money to Democrats today.
A Charles Manson.
Yeah, there's a Charles Manson who gives money to Democrats today.
There's channeling.
There's a Jeffrey Dahmer. There's a Jeffrey Dahmer who gives money to Democrats today, and all I'm doing is applying Jasmine Crockett's way of promoting things, and so it's up to you to go look it up to find out whether it's the same Jeffrey Dahmer or the same Charles Manson. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Barack Obama used drone attacks thousands of times, and in fact, he used a drone to kill an American citizen who, at the time he was killed, was doing nothing wrong. He wasn't even transporting drugs. That particular American, and then he killed his 16-year-old son by mistake later. What do we do about that?
Well, according to a Democrat, that would have been a war crime.
Well, but since they didn't call it that at the time, then calling it that now, in fact, it's not even the same. Because what I'm saying is these were two Americans. These narco-terrorists were not Americans, and these two Americans were doing nothing wrong at the time.
This is
that they were attacked.
This is an organized effort.
Yeah.
To undermine President Trump's enforcement of the law via Secretary of War
to try to take an individual occurrence and try to make it something that has no historical precedence, which is false. And that's what I'm saying is And they do this over and over and over again. And it's a level of intellectual corruptness, Michael, that we've not seen before.
Are you saying that the Democrats are getting worse?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at who they're running, do you see who this guy that might very well win the Democrat nomination for the U.S. Senate seat
in Maine?
In Michigan.
Oh, just another crazy one?
Just as crazy as the one in Maine. I mean, he is truly just as crazy as the one in Maine.
Tell me about the Michigan guy.
He is. I mean, he's called for all kinds. I'll get information because there's plenty of time to talk about him. But I read about him this morning, and it's not he won't necessarily win the primary, but he is. But he will be supported by the Islamic community, which is a very big community.
Dearborn, Michigan.
In Dearborn, Michigan, and he is just as crazy as Ilhan Omar is. The difference with Ilhan Omar is I doubt if she could win a Senate seat in Minnesota, but maybe she could. This guy's not running for a Congress seat in Dearborn because that's already held by a crazy person. But this guy's running for a Senate seat in Michigan. And the Democrat Party, after the 24 election, so many people said, well, the Democrat Party will now move back toward the center.
No. They're going further left.
They're going farther left.
But you know why that is, Crom? Because that's where the energy is.
Yes.
And that's where
the money is.
Energy and money are on the left. You got all these anti-American George Soros, the Swiss guy, the billionaire.
Government employee unions.
Yeah. All that. Yeah. They're just going extreme. And so you're seeing the country really being torn apart by these differences.
And we may get into more of it later, but Afton Baines, for example, she outspent Matt Van Epps by millions of dollars because of the government employee unions pouring money in and people. Democrats, virtually every Democrat who voted in the last primary was contacted personally at least 3 times.
Where'd you see that? I mean, I'm not disputing it, but where'd you see that?
Well, this is where Afton Baines talked about how many doors she knocked on.
Oh, okay.
And also then I've had people tell me that these were Democrats who were going to vote for Matt Van Epps because they didn't like it, who got just their door was knocked on constantly. And these are not volunteers. These are people who are paid.
Davidson
County. Yeah. And these are people who these are paid volunteers.
Where was the Republican Party knocking on doors?
The Republican Party doesn't have the money. These are not volunteers.
Well, they're paid.
These are paid.
All right. We'll come back with Carmichael, and we're going to talk a little bit about Afton Baines, the left-wing lunatic who apparently sees a silver lining for herself in this 9-point loss to Matt Van Epps in the TN7 special election. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. He's Carmichael.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Well, Carmichael, the election, the special election in TN7 was held on Tuesday. GOP candidate Matt Van Epps easily won by 9 points over Afton Bain, the left-wing lunatic who hates Nashville. It's interesting the transformation she went through.
Now, we don't say that. She does.
Yeah, she
says that.
She says she has.
Yeah.
She said it. She's on tape. Crom, she was born in East Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I think she went to University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and then did graduate work in social work. Got a master's in social work from the University of Texas.
Okay.
And decided she hates Tennessee so much that she's going to come back to Tennessee and work as a rural organizer, which she did for a bit.
Okay.
Then apparently she did some rural organizing in Europe for a while.
Oh, okay.
And when Donald Trump won in 2016, she said, I've got to come back and do my rural organizing in Tennessee. And that's her background.
Okay.
And she went to the Webb School, by the way.
Okay.
In Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
Very expensive private school.
Okay.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
And so you saw all of this litany of clips of Afton Bain looking, how should I describe it? She did not look like she was all that glammed up in her earlier videos. But in her campaign, suddenly the woman who said she hates Nashville, in her concession speech, she came up wearing a rhinestone cowgirl outfit.
Yes.
all glammed up to kind of look like Dolly Parton.
Right. Well, or certainly to look
To
like
attempt
an
it.
entertainer.
And an
Look at
entertainer.
country music entertainer.
Yeah. And then at the beginning of her concession speech, she was singing along to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5.
A great song.
Which is hilarious.
Yes.
Because 9 to 5 is something Afton Bain has never done. And all of her support, you understand what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and her supporters are not 9 to 5 working class people.
No.
They're they're
the elite.
Democrat operatives and the elite.
Yeah.
And anyways, now you live in Davidson County, Nashville.
But I don't live in her district.
Not in her district, but you live in Davidson County. And I think, what was your reaction to the lead up to the special election? And what did you see as a resident of Davidson County?
Well, let me say this: when you're a resident of Davidson County and you're not in her district, it's you don't see much other than the TV ads, and everybody sees those. But I went back and looked at the election results, and here's what's kind of interesting, because they tried to say that nine points was not a great victory for Matt Van Epps. In fact, they tried to spin it as a victory for Afton Baines to come that close. But here's what's interesting: Mark Green won that district in the last election by 21 points. In the last election.
Now, who was his challenger?
Nobody
remembers.
Nobody remembers.
How much did they spend?
Almost nothing.
There
And
you
this
go.
is what we're getting to here, is that Afton Baines had millions of dollars, much of it funded by government employee unions from all across the country.
Yeah.
And many paid volunteers to go knock on doors.
Now let's just pause on that for a moment, because this is very important. We estimate that she spent, her team, various groups, spent over $6 million on her campaign.
Yeah.
And the Matt Van Epps campaign was like around $4 million. So they outspent him.
Yeah.
But this is interesting because their focus was on door-to-door get out the vote in Davidson County.
And the other counties.
Well, mostly in Clarksville.
Well, I'm saying wherever Democrats had voted in primaries.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying is that Afton Baines got 2/3 of the Democrats who voted, the numbers. I'm not talking about the people, but the numbers. 2/3 of the numbers who voted in the last election voted for her in this election. Matt Van Epps had 50%. Now that doesn't mean that there wasn't interest in Matt Van Epps. It means that special elections, by definition, get a smaller turnout than even midterm elections do.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but in this case, you're comparing it against a presidential election cycle. And so this just shows you how important money is, and especially ground game money. And that's not, and there what you have to have is you have to have people who are ready to go knock on doors and be paid to do it. And what I'm saying is the Democrat Party, through the government employee unions, they have these people who travel around the country and do it because that's what they're paid to do.
That's their job.
That's their
They're
job.
paid.
They are paid to do this.
Yeah.
And so this is like, I look at politics as a form of war without at this point the violence.
Well,
without at this point, I'm saying
at this point.
I'm comparing it to war.
Yeah.
So but in war, the objective of one side trying to defeat the other, the primary objective is not killing soldiers. While that does happen, that's not the primary objective. The primary objective is to destroy their ability to supply the soldiers with supplies and ammo. And if you can destroy the factories that produce the weapons and the ammo, then the soldiers cannot fight, and they will then surrender. Ammo and supplies in politics is money. And government employee unions supply enormous amounts of money. And they will always have an advantage because 98% of the $6 billion a year, $6 billion every year that are collected by government employee unions across the country, that goes into efforts to expand the size and power of the government. And it only supports one party now.
Now, let's talk about this door-to-door. You have some friends in Davidson County who apparently told you that they were contacted many times by Afton Baines people. Tell us about that.
Right. Well, these were just Democrats who actually didn't want to vote for Afton Baines. We're going to vote for Matt Van Epps, which is why they were willing to talk about it, but they don't want their names revealed because they don't want to be attacked.
We're not going to tell anybody
They're
their
not going to do
names.
that, but these
are real people.
Yeah, these are real people.
Registered as
registered, and they vote. No, they weren't registered. They voted in the last election in primaries.
In Tennessee, just so you know, we don't register by party.
Right.
But you have to declare which primary you're going to vote in, and that's how they decide whether you're Democrat or Republican.
And so and those names are available for any candidate.
Yeah.
And their contact information is available to any candidate.
So your friends who live in Afton Baines district who have voted Democrat
in the past,
primaries.
Yeah.
How many times were they contacted?
At least 3.
In person?
In person. At least 3.
Really?
Yeah. And so
each one of them.
Yes. And so what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is, and then they were called. So my point is that Afton Baines spent an enormous amount of money in the 60-day period on voter turnout because she had the money to do it.
Right.
And this is not people who contributed to her election because they were supporting of it. These are institutions that the government employee unions. And so what I'm saying is that this is a problem for our country, because government employee unions in California dominate the politics of California, because California has 11% of the citizens of the United States live in California. 24% of government employee unions are in California, of the number of people in the unions. And if you're a politician in California and you're a Democrat, unless you do everything that the government employee unions want you to do, they will primary you the very next time you're going, and they'll beat you.
So let's take a look at the door-to-door activities among get out the vote on Republicans in Davidson County. There was virtually nothing.
Almost none.
Almost none. And
because that infrastructure's not in place.
Well, there's 2 elements of the infrastructure that are not in place in Davidson County. And it's not just, I'm talking about not just Davidson County, Nashville, the urban part of this district, but this is true for blue cities all over the country.
Correct.
The local Republican Party doesn't have a lot of money, typically.
Right.
And it doesn't do the kinds of things that the Democrat groups do. That is, they don't go door to door
because they don't have the money.
They don't talk to people. Well,
they don't have the money.
In theory, I think you've made that point well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crum. But, having myself run a door-to-door operation several times, particularly, you may recall, back in 2013-14, we did the Beat Lamar project. And you're right. At that time, we had about 80 kids that went door-to-door over the summer.
Okay.
During the primary election. And we paid them, right? We raised some money, and we paid the kids. Going door to door, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it volunteer, but a volunteer is only going to go like over one weekend, right? Because
and the message that they give won't necessarily be that clear because they haven't been trained.
Well, you have to be trained.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the door to door, the in-person contact, you've got to have the database set up that's accessible, and Republicans and Democrats can get the information, but you have to have the database infrastructure to deliver it to your door-to-door people in a way that they're going to...
It takes money.
Yeah. And you can do some with volunteers, but it's a limited amount. There's no corresponding employees union to fund door-to-door activities.
Correct.
Among Republicans.
Correct. And it's not a small amount of money. It is a huge amount of money. And so the Democrats are able, because of the government employee unions, to have year-round infrastructure in place. They have thousands of employees who do nothing but politics. Thousands of employees who do nothing but politics. They have hundreds, maybe even thousands when you take the whole country, of lobbyists who do nothing but support bigger and more powerful government.
Let's talk about Afton Bain.
Yeah. So what do you think her future is?
Well, I think she's going to do the following. She's got a base of raising money nationally. She presents herself as the AOC of Tennessee, and she's got her handlers have, I think, done a good job of presenting her in a way that she isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they've tried to.
Yeah, but I think In Tennessee, you can run for a state office and for a federal office at the same time. She will run for the State House again, and she will simultaneously run either against Matt Van Epps or Bill Hagerty for the Senate. Your thoughts? We've got a minute left.
You mean both? She'll run for both?
She'll run for a state rep and for a federal office. Yes.
Okay. Well, I think that she's made it clear she wants to run for something.
Yeah.
She will not do well if she runs in 2026. 2026. If she runs against Matt Van Epps, because
she'll lose
in a year. She'll lose, and she also won't get the financial support that she got this time.
She'll get some.
She'll get some, but not.
Which is why she's going to. She would be more likely to run for the Senate because she'll get more money that way around the country. That's my guess. Back with more Crom Carmichael after this.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Giampapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. And borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the original all-star panelist, the one, the only, Carmichael. Crom, before we go on to our next topic, I see you are attired in very comfortable winter weather attire.
Yes. I'm heading down to Chattanooga after the show to watch my grandson play in a high school championship football game.
How about that?
He's on the same team with Jared Curtis.
The Jared Curtis.
The Jared Curtis.
So he's like one of the top quarterback prospects in the country.
And a great kid. I mean, he is my son-in-law is admissions director at the school and assistant coach on the team, and so he knows Jared very well, as does my grandson, and he's Jared Curtis is a wonderful person, considering his age and the national attention he gets.
He was a commit to go to the University of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big time.
But
what
he
happened?
could have gone anywhere he wanted.
What happened?
Well,
he changed his mind.
Well,
didn't
he changed his mind. I think there are probably a variety of reasons. It also, I think he's a big fan of Diego Pavia. I think Pavia probably did a good bit of recruiting.
And so he's going to Vanderbilt.
He's going to Vanderbilt,
and he could possibly start next year if Diego loses his suit to get another year in college.
Is he trying to get another year?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Diego Pavia has almost single-handedly lifted the Vanderbilt football program.
Okay.
You know, I was talking with somebody who knows the sports psychologist at Vanderbilt, and Diego Pavia meets with the sports psychologist regularly.
Really?
Yes. And my friend said that the sports psychologist says Diego Pavia has one question every time he comes in. He says, "What can I do to make the team better?" That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Not what can I do to make me better. What can I do to make the team better?
He's a fun guy to watch.
He is
terrific.
something else. He is terrific. Yeah. Could you imagine what a motivational speaker he could become if he doesn't play in the NFL, or he'll become a coach?
Yeah.
And I think he'll be a great coach. Anyway,
the Diego Pavia of finance, Diego Pavia, thank you, of finance is Scott Bessent, Secretary of Treasury.
Yes.
By the way, remember the first interview he ever did before, other than Steve Bannon, was on our radio program.
Oh wow!
You know that?
Very
right?
cool.
And we were promised the first radio interview when he became Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah.
We haven't quite yet gotten that
one,
yet.
yeah.
But he's so good.
Yeah.
And obviously he learned a lot of how to deal with the media from
through
our interviews.
Yeah.
And he took it to the guys in the New York Times the other day. He was there at a deal book sponsored by the New York Times, and this really lefty, smug moderator, Aaron Sorkin. Well, let's just play this clip right now.
The question is, is this like a new? Is this a new normal?
That Andrew, there's no new normal, and I can tell you that I actually don't read the New York Times anymore. But sometimes I do watch CNBC, but occasionally people send me articles, and there's just this fever swamp, and you're now a pop historian with 1929, and in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. The New York Times is no longer the paper of record. You can't go. I read this article. President Trump is slowing down. President Trump's mental capacity. It is 100% fake. That he only called me twice at 2 a.m. last week, instead of 3 times.
You're saying he called you? I believe that he called you at 2 or 3 in the morning.
That whole narrative. You had what was one of the greatest scandals of all time. That the coverage of the Biden administration, Joe Biden's diminished capacity, and the cover-up.
And that's why it's probably fair to raise these questions.
Where was the New York Times? We just had a 3-hour cabinet meeting yesterday, Andrew. For 10 months, the Biden administration did not have a cabinet meeting. How are you going to invoke the 25th Amendment if the cabinet secretaries never see the president, which they didn't.
Okay, so I think he really was taken to that pop historian, Andrew Sorkin.
Well, first of all, Scott Bessent is a brilliant person.
Mm-hmm.
He understands, and he's a great Treasury Secretary. He's
really good.
He is really good. And by the way, I thought the Steve Mnuchin in the first term was also I think Trump's selection of Treasury Secretaries has been amazing.
Well, he knows the deal, guys.
I'm saying, well, it's not just deals. Treasury is a. But anyway, Scott Bessent, I think, is a wonderful person to have in that position, and he also is very good in an interview.
Real good.
He's smarter than any of the people interviewing him.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And all of this stuff, what the Democrats are doing since they couldn't beat him in the election, and now the Russia hoax we now know it's a hoax. All of the different things, the Jeffrey Epstein, that's gone away.
Yeah. Because
Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat and supported Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has no traction. So now they're trying to say that killing narco-terrorists is somehow against the law. When Obama killed hundreds of civilians, he killed an American citizen without any due process, and then he killed the American citizen's 16-year-old son by mistake. What do we do about it? If Barack Obama and all of his military people are not going to be held to account for killing Americans overseas who are doing nothing at the time, and Trump is being blamed for killing people who are bringing poison onto our shores, I'm sorry. The argument just doesn't
not working at all.
To talk about the Caribbean, the argument doesn't hold water.
Good luck to your grandson.
It doesn't hold
today
water. Thank you.
In the championship.
Thank you.
I think they'll win.
I hope so.
All right. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
We'll be back with Tom Pappert after this. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Katz and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio.
This is WJFN Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFB Portsmouth, part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. After almost 5 years, the FBI has reportedly made an arrest in its investigation of pipe bombs planted at 2 locations in Washington, D.C. on the eve of the 2021 U.S. Capitol riot.
Seeking a breakthrough in the case as this year began, the FBI published additional information about its investigation, including an estimate of the suspect's height. It also released a previously withheld video of the shadowy image of the suspect placing one of the bombs on the evening of January 5th, 2021, near the offices of the Democratic and Republican National Committees in D.C. The devices did not detonate and no one was hurt. George Williams, Washington.
Presidential envoy Steve Witkoff is meeting in Florida today with Ukrainian officials as the Trump administration continues trying for a deal to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump referring to his team's earlier meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
He would like to end the war. That was their impression. Now, whether or not, that was their impression. Their impression was that he would like to see the war ended. I think he'd like to get back to dealing a more normal life. I think he'd like to be trading with the United States of America, frankly, instead of losing thousands of soldiers a week.
Calling them ridiculously expensive, burdensome, and horrible, President Trump is trashing Joe Biden's stringent fuel economy standards for new vehicles. Mr. Trump says the move should cut at least $1,000 from the cost of a new vehicle, while encouraging automakers to invest more in their American manufacturing while producing vehicles that consumers really want. Unemployment applications fell last week, dropping to 191,000. That is the lowest level in more than 3 years. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up about 10 points, while the Nasdaq 17 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher. The holidays are right around the corner, and you know what that means. Travel, gifts, family gatherings, and a whole lot of spending. Here's a way to get ahead of it all. Call my friends Mike and Brian and the team at Fellowship Home Loans. Rates have dropped again. That means you could refinance, lower your monthly payment, even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. That's right, 2 months with no mortgage payment. Put away the checkbook. Keep that money for the holidays. You won't be making any more payments till 2026. Maybe you're not looking to refinance, but you need access to cash. Well, Fellowship now offers their own HELOC and line of credit. Approval just takes a few minutes, and you can have funds in your account in as little as 4 days. Use it to pay off bills, finish a renovation, or simply get ready for the new year. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
It is a long-running mystery that investigators have not given up on trying to solve.
More than 11 years after it disappeared, the search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is restarting. Malaysia's Transport Ministry said Texas-based firm Ocean Infinity will resume its deep-sea hunt later this month under a no-find, no-fee deal. The company has upgraded its technology since its last search in 2018 and will focus on areas considered most likely to hold the missing Boeing 777. The aircraft vanished in 2014 on a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing carrying 239 people. Only small pieces of debris have ever been found. Ocean Infinity will search from December 30 and will be paid $70 million only if wreckage is discovered. I'm Nayan Kim.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Overnight stays at the Grand Canyon South Rim lodges canceled because of infrastructure issues.
There is only one water line to the South Rim, and crews are working on multiple breaks to that line. The failures have prompted strict conservation measures to preserve limited resources. This is just the second time overnight stays have had to be canceled. For park staff and the 2,500 who live year-round in Grand Canyon Village, it means short showers, less toilet flushing, and turning off faucets while shaving or brushing teeth. Day visitors are still welcome at the South Rim, and there is lodging available outside the park. The goal is to have the water line fixed and the lodges open again as early as next week. I'm Ed Donahue.
Later today, President Trump will host the Congolese and Rwandan presidents at the White House. It is a peace agreement signing ceremony. The deal is aimed at ending the bloodshed in eastern Congo. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Our number is 615-814-2848, 615-814-2848. You can also watch us on our X, just on our X feed. Just go and to my account, Michael P. Leahy, and you can see us there, X Live. Also, I think we're on the Tennessee Star as well there. And you can see us on Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire Stick, and YouTube. How about that? Pretty good. We're joined now on our Zoom Newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize award-winning national winner of the best local journalist in the country, along with Christina Botteri and yours truly, Tom Pappert, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network. Memphis is getting much safer. What's the story on that, Tom Pappert?
Well, it is getting very much safer indeed. So far, they've arrested 3,500 people as part of the Memphis Safe Task Force. That's the state, federal, and local task force authorized by President Donald Trump. It hit the ground on September 30th, and they hit the ground running. So 3,500 arrests. You may be wondering, what does that actually translate to? Well, it translates to a 45% reduction in crime, 20% reduction in total calls to the police. And when you get down to the individual crimes, you're seeing, I think, 350 vehicles have been recovered. You're seeing 121 children that have been taken back to their families in Tennessee where they're supposed to be. And now the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the director, David Roush, said yesterday, because, this is local police reporting their info in a city that's had some, let's say, struggles with this in the past. Well, now the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has confirmed the accuracy of this data. Memphis really is getting safer, and it's getting safer because of President Donald Trump and the Memphis Safe Task Force.
That's a really quick turnaround in terms of safety numbers, it seems to me, Tom.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they've said, the mayor came out a week or so ago and confirmed this is the lowest it's been since 2001. And it all started earlier this year. Really, it started in May when FBI Director Kash Patel said Memphis is the homicide capital of the country. This is unacceptable. And he announced they were going to surge FBI assets to the city. That's when, I guess, it started to retreat. The water began to recede in terms of the high crime rate. And then once the Memphis Safe Task Force hit the city running, I think it was really it's gone very fast. Now, two people, Senator Brent Taylor and State Representative John Gillespie, of course, representatives or state legislators from Memphis, they're worried that the next phase needs to be making sure these people being arrested can be effectively prosecuted in the county courts. Right now, because the Memphis Safe Task Force is there, they're charging as many alleged criminals federally as they can, but I think the local lawmakers' concern is that if this federal task force should leave, will District Attorney Steve Mulroy actually see these prosecutions through in the future?
Yeah, and I guess you raise a good point, because some of those arrested could be charged under federal crimes, in which case the new U.S. attorney there would be in charge of their prosecution. If they're charged with state crimes, then it will be District Attorney Mulroy, who's had a very spotty record of prosecuting criminals. I've been kind to him.
That's being very charitable. This is a guy who allegedly colluded with a prosecutor and a judge to let a guy out of prison, even though without telling the victims that they needed to show up and testify whether they liked it or didn't like it. This is a guy who works with not one, not two, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 different restorative justice groups. These are the activists who say that you can never put anybody in jail for any time, no matter what, because it's going to hurt the community. So it's a real concern. And I think that the people of Memphis need to know that this is in the future. And another Memphis story, though, that sort of runs parallel to this is the claim from this activist group in the city, Vecindarios 901. This is associated with people, let's say, a person named Hunter Dempster, who was arrested actually during the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020 for trying to protest former Attorney General Bill Barr. Well, this group is still active in the city, and what they're doing now is operating a hotline where people concerned that illegal immigrants are being arrested as part of the Memphis Safe Task Force's activities. Well, you can call this hotline, and activists associated with Vecindarios will appear at your location to, I guess, provide backup. They seem to record a lot of cell phone footage. So there are some very strange and potentially unsettling things happening in the city, even as it's the safest it's been in over 2 decades.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Why is it that these people don't like a safe city?
It's a great question indeed. You've seen some claims saying, well, the National Guard is scaring people, it's intimidating people, and they're terrorizing illegal immigrants. My question, of course, is how many illegal immigrants are really in the city of Memphis? They claim they're receiving 140 calls per day, but some of these are from just locals who are reporting the sightings of federal law enforcement. Exactly how many criminal illegal aliens are in the city, and are they being protected essentially by activist groups that have been arrested before, some of the people involved, and were apparently not harshly prosecuted by the local district attorney?
Now, there has been a challenge to this. To lay out the participants in the challenge to the, not the entire task force, but the National Guard, which is part of that task force in Memphis now. To explain to our listeners the difference between the mayor of Memphis, what he controls, Paul Young, and the mayor of Shelby County, Leahy Harris. They're both Democrats. Shelby County is, the city of Memphis is about 2/3 of Shelby County. Describe the different duties of these two mayors, and then their different approaches to this, and the lawsuit brought by one of them.
Well, it is a bit confusing when it comes to parsing exactly what one does and the other does. But of course, a Memphis mayor, Paul Young, focuses on the city, oversees the Memphis Police Department, which answers to the mayor, of course, the city mayor. And he has been, I won't say supportive, because he is a Democrat after all, but he has been very accepting toward the Memphis Safe Task Force. He said before it even arrived in the city that this is an opportunity to expand on the Democrats' ongoing efforts to increase public safety, that type of approach. And frankly, I think Democrats could learn from Paul Young, because meanwhile, Shelby County Mayor Leahy Harris oversees the county where Memphis resides. He is one of the, I think, dozen or so plaintiffs in a lawsuit that about 2 weeks ago now, Chancery Court judge, one of these kind of, in my opinion, radical leftist local judges who gets overturned at appellate courts. But this judge determined, as a result of the lawsuit, that there would be an injunction against the participation of the Tennessee National Guard, because Governor Bill Lee exceeded his authority by sending them to the city, because it's not an emergency. It was essentially the argument. There was also some sort of argument where the judge acknowledged in one portion of Tennessee code that the governor did in fact have authority to do this, but then, citing a portion of the Tennessee Constitution, said, well, this isn't actually a militia. A militia is when Bubba and his buddies get their shotguns and go fend off the Chinese who have just parachuted onto our shores. This is the National Guard, and there are different rules for the National Guard. Now, what's ironic about all this, so she put out an injunction that says the National Guard has to be removed. The plaintiffs have to put up, I believe, $50,000 for that injunction to go live. They've appealed it already, the Trump administration has, and I don't think it ever moved forward. There may have been some voluntary reductions.
Yeah, the injunction has been stayed while the appeal by the Attorney General of Tennessee is pending. I think you're right. The appeals court is going to overrule the crazy trial court judge. It's a Chancery Court judge in Davidson County, far left, as you say. Okay, can you stick around, Tom? Do we really have some more Kilmar Abrego Garcia news? I think we do. And you have it for us. Back after this.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Tom, you know, the day may come. We're talking with Tom Pappert, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star, and fellow Dow Prize Award winner for the best local journalism in the country, along with yours truly and Christina Botteri, for our reporting on the traffic stop that led to the indictment of alleged human trafficker Kilmar Abrego Garcia. No place in the country has anyone reported more on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And just remind everybody, in November of 2022, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was driving a van owned by a convicted human smuggler and was speeding and was kind of allegedly speeding and moving between the lanes, and was pulled over by Tennessee Highway Patrol, was on the side of the road for an hour, 20 minutes. And when the officers went to talk to him, Tom, they discovered that he did not have a valid driver's license, and that he was also transporting 9 illegal aliens who couldn't speak English, and not really honestly describing where they'd been or what they were doing, and was ordered this is the important part that we broke, ordered by the Biden-era FBI. They ordered the Tennessee Highway Patrol to release him. When we broke that story in April, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was in a prison in El Salvador, having just had a margarita with Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, the Democrat. And but ever since, they brought him back here, and he's been charged with a federal crime of human smuggling. And how much have the lawyers spent on this guy so far, would you say, Tom? Are we up to
Michael, I think we'd be foolish if we didn't estimate somewhere in the range of 10 million. 4 law firms, filings every day, 10 or more lawyers from each firm on the case. This guy is getting the executive treatment.
The executive due process. He's getting a level of due process far beyond what former President Richard Nixon got, or all the Watergate defendants who were convicted. They didn't get any due process comparable to what he's been getting, the excessive due process. But nonetheless, really, since we broke that story in April, it seems like every week there's multiple new developments. What is the latest, Tom Pappert?
Well, Michael, we're finally going to find out on Friday. Is the government vindictively prosecuting Kilmar Abrego Garcia? Though I think the left, and potentially even this judge, Crenshaw, an Obama appointee in Tennessee, they may have already reached their conclusion. That's the sort of vibe they're putting out. At least his attorneys are, Abrego Garcia's attorneys, through their filings. But as of this morning, we can report that the Department of Justice has once again authorized Kilmar Abrego Garcia to be relocated to Middle Tennessee. He's currently in a holding facility in Pennsylvania. He's been there for months now. Well, remember, this other Obama-appointed judge, Paula Zinnes, has demanded, she's ordered the DHS not to move Abrego Garcia more than 200 miles away from her courtroom. So now, anytime they need an exception to this rule, we learn about it through federal filings. And so that is how we know they are treating this as though it's actually going to happen this time. Remember, this is the third attempt to set the vindictive prosecution hearing, and it is going to be held on Friday. There's some interesting developments on that front, too. Remember, Abrego Garcia is claiming that because Todd Blanche, the deputy attorney general, went on Fox News and described the genesis of how the case against Abrego Garcia was established, he sort of left out the Tennessee Star, but I won't hold a grudge against him, that because of this interview, he established vindictiveness. And now the entire criminal case against Abrego Garcia must be dropped because Todd Blanche went on Fox News and delivered an interview where he said, look, people told us that Abrego Garcia was a good guy, so we investigated and we found out our initial suspicions were true. That is the gist of what he said in the interview, and on Friday they want him to testify. The government has said they don't want him to testify. They've attempted to quash the subpoena, and Abrego Garcia said earlier this week, well, if we don't have Todd Blanche before us, Judge Waverly Crenshaw, then you must simply determine that this is vindictive prosecution, dismiss the case, and free our client. So there could be some serious fireworks come Friday.
So you talk about manipulating the system. I mean, obviously, anybody who's seen our reporting, Tom, that this guy was clearly, from all the evidence that we have, there were in numerous violations of the law involved here. He was driving a vehicle owned by a convicted human smuggler, number one. Number two, he was driving in the state of Tennessee without a legal driver's license. He had a driver's license that had been expired, and it was good in Maryland, but not in Tennessee. Right there. Any normal, and he was clearly, as we saw in our video, we're going to have to bring this up again. We've got the camera video of the senior Tennessee Highway Patrol officer coming in and looking at and talking to the junior officers here, say, you know what you got here. He's hauling these people.
By the way,
for
Michael,
money.
I hate to interrupt, but you know that if Abrego Garcia has his way, the jury will not hear that. They've moved for the video to be muted for the entirety of its play before the jury. So Abrego Garcia is really, when you talk about manipulating the system and manipulating the facts of the case, well, we'll see if the jury is able to hear.
So
well, you know what you've got here, right?
They're arguing. What they're arguing is that traffic stop evidence cannot be included if it includes the audio. What on earth is the argument being made there?
Part of the argument is that you would have to get all of these Tennessee state troopers in the courtroom on, well, when the audio is played, because they would need to be made available for cross-examination in case anything they said amounts to hearsay rather than evidence or questioning. And in other cases like this, when you get a left-wing judge, they frankly do side with the defendant. More hard-nosed judges, however, go through the audio and say, mute this person because it's the police officer speculating about potential crimes. Unmute this portion because it's Kilmar Abrego Garcia telling, in my opinion, well, I mean, what the government has called lies about his travel schedule as an example. But the judge, seems to be his style, has yet to make a ruling on this. He's just got, at any given time, like 10 to 15 pending motions he's waiting to address when it comes to this case.
I mean, they're just throwing stuff at the wall, and they think one of these is going to hit. You intimated that you think that the defense attorneys think that they're going to win this one.
I think they are very confident. If you read their filings, especially, they're all coming now from Sean Hecker of the Hecker Fink law firm associated with associated with Joe Biden now. They represent him personally. Also previously received money from Reid Hoffman to push their case, the crazy advice columnist case against President Trump. A few years back. So they are very jubilant. They seem very confident. And I would not be surprised if we see a favorable ruling for the defense from Judge Crenshaw. I don't think it will come Friday, but he has essentially said that the presumption of vindictive prosecution is there. And now the prosecutors, the Trump Department of Justice, they have to prove a negative. They have to prove that it's not vindictive prosecution
somehow. How did
somehow.
This judge come up and say there's a presumption of vindictive prosecution? I mean, the guy was ordered to be let go by the Biden-era FBI, found in a vehicle with 9 illegal aliens, with basically an invalid driver's license. I mean, the evidence obviously is, clear as a bell. How are they coming up with vindictive prosecution? I mean,
it all goes back to this interview that I'm not making this up. The judge cited a Fox News interview as proof of vindictive prosecution. It sounds so fanciful, but there is about 3 paragraphs of text where the Deputy Attorney General says, they told us he was a Maryland man, so we investigated after we deported him to find out if they were right. When we did our investigating, says Blanche, we found out he's actually, and this is what Blanche said, a very bad guy who needs criminal charges. That is their evidence. That is their claim of vindictive prosecution. That is the presumption of vindictive prosecution.
If the judge rules in favor of this vindictive prosecution, what he's done is he's going to really undermine public confidence in the rule of law. I don't think he realizes that yet. Perhaps I should persuade him. Tom Pappard, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael. It's always a pleasure.
Up next, we have a breaking story on the J-6 pipe bomber, and you'll hear from Julie Kelly and Stephen K. Bannon on this. Back after this.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Be Fur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet's spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BeFurandAfterGrooming.com. Be Fur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
Ready to turn your idle equipment into cash? Purple Wave Auction is your solution. We specialize in no-reserve online auctions, bringing nationwide buyers to your doorstep. From excavators to dozers, we'll market your assets to a vast audience of eager buyers. No hauling required. We photograph and list your equipment where it sits. Experience our transparent and simple process with expert support. Join successful sellers who trust Purple Wave. Visit purplewave.com today to learn how easy selling can be.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges. And D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today. Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We have a breaking story we want to bring to you right now. A suspect has been arrested in the January 2021 D.C. pipe bomb case. And this just happened like about an hour ago. And we're going to play a clip from Julie Kelly and Steve Bannon this morning on that very topic. But I do want to say a couple things. Another media outlet had reported using various techniques, they said with a 95% level of confidence, that a different individual was the likely perpetrator of this. Turns out that not the case. And here, let me read this to you right now. This is from NBC by Ryan Riley. It was published at, it was published this morning, actually, at and updated at 9:08 our time, Central Time. So that would be about an hour and 20 minutes ago, by Ryan Riley and a number of other NBC reporters. The FBI has arrested a suspect in its investigation into pipe bombs planted near the Republican and Democrat National Party headquarters in Washington, D.C. on January 5th, 2021, the day before the January 6th events. According to a federal law enforcement official familiar with the investigations, Brian Cole was identified as the suspect in custody, according to 2 senior law enforcement officials briefed on the matter. The arrest marks a breakthrough in a case that has stymied investigators for nearly 5 years. An FBI official says the arrest happened Thursday morning, that's this morning. A news conference will take place at the Justice Department on Thursday, later today, to officially announce the arrest. This is again the NBC News story. Federal investigators have said an individual placed one pipe bomb near the Democrat National Committee headquarters and another near the Republican National Committee headquarters on the eve of the January 6th siege on the Capitol. The FBI has since repeatedly asked the public for information on this case. The Bureau has said the suspect is estimated about 5'7", and was wearing Nike Air Max Speed Turf shoes with gold logo. In 2023, the FBI raised a reward for information to $500,000. Here we go on this. The FBI has said the pipe bombs, which were discovered January 6th, about 15 hours after they were placed, were viable devices that could have seriously injured or killed bystanders. The Bureau said investigators have conducted more than 1,000 interviews and reviewed tens of thousands of video files. I'll finish this off here, and then we'll go to just recently, Julie Kelly and Steve Bannon talking about this. The mystery of the pipe bomber's identity helped fuel some conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's the NBC spin on it. Okay, let's go now, right now, and listen to Stephen K. Bannon and Julie Kelly talking about this just about half an hour ago.
This is a huge development that, of course, your audience and all of us have been waiting for. This was an investigation that was very aggressively pursued early on under Chris Wray's FBI. And then we are told towards February, March of 2021, it just went away. And maybe we will find out exactly why, despite troves of evidence, interviews, pursuit of, what this individual on January 5th was wearing, trying to track down where those items were purchased. Then all of a sudden just went stone cold. As you know, Cash and Dan made this a priority. They have devoted new resources, new investigative tools to this cold case. And it appears a man from Virginia, NBC News is reporting his name as Brian Cole, could be tied to Antifa. Another media outlet is reporting. I cannot confirm that independently. However, this appears to be the individual who is seen on that surveillance video from the evening of January 5th, 2021, between 7:30 and 8:30 on Capitol Hill, allegedly planting these really what they were dummy devices outside the headquarters of both the Republican National Committee and the Democratic
Julie, hang on, Julie. The whole narrative that we've been fed, the whole reason Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon went to prison was that Antifa and these people had nothing to do with J6. This is all Donald Trump, Donald Trump's people. What are you telling me? The guy may be an anarchist and might be, although you haven't confirmed it, might be associated with Antifa, ma'am.
I mean, look, we know that Antifa was there. I have been told for years by J6ers who were on the ground that they saw Antifa. We can see video of people dressed in that black bloc garb who were tied to Antifa. We know that there were confrontations between Antifa and the Proud Boys a few days before, the evening before. Also, we have on film, on recording, undercover, plainclothes D.C. police officers specifically saying that they were there to look for Antifa. So if this individual, and again, I cannot confirm this with my sources independently, that this is an Antifa type or certainly not a MAGA supporter, this blows a huge hole in the early narrative that someone aligned with Donald Trump and the MAGA movement tried to blow up the headquarters of the RNC and DNC, where Kamala Harris was, don't forget, beginning around 11:30 a.m. on January 6th of 2021. So this is, as you can tell, a story in motion.
Julie, Dan Bongino and Cash overturned the team, put a new team in there 6 weeks ago. Voila, we have now a suspect in custody after, 5 years. Do you believe that the FBI people that were working on this were just that incompetent? Or was this an act of commission to basically shut down this investigation, knowing that it wasn't a MAGA supporter and someone that was a Donald Trump true blood? Ma'am.
Well, certainly that is going to be the suspicion, is that the Ray FBI quickly found out that this individual seen on the evening of January 5th was not a MAGA supporter, was tied to a leftist movement such as Antifa, and therefore the early stages, right, so the spring of 2021, as they're impeaching Donald Trump over the so-called insurrection, as they are solidifying their narrative and preventing people from expressing any skepticism about what happened that day. Just imagine if they had arrested an Antifa-tied individual in March or April of 2021 for planting these pipe bombs.
Huge.
It would have destroyed the narrative early on. Now, again, I can't confirm that. Hopefully, when we talk later this evening after this press conference, we see the indictment, we'll have more details. However, that would be the political motive of the FBI and Biden DOJ to bury this and prevent the American people from learning the truth and the president from exonerating himself.
Okay, so how do you deal with a story like this? I think urging caution. I'm going to urge caution to everybody on this. This has been a weird element of the whole J6 thing that seemed kind of odd from the very beginning. Now, I mean, here we are. Gosh, it's almost 5 years later. Think about that. Think about how evidence, declines after a period of time. So the individual, according to NBC, who was arrested is a fellow by the name of Brian Cole. Now, you heard who's from Virginia. You've heard Julie Kelly generally suggest that there may be an Antifa connection here. Again, that's what they say, not what I'm saying. We need to wait, and we will give you an update. If it happens during the program, there is a Department of Justice press conference plan. This is all kind of weird. Let me continue with the story about from NBC on this. They say that Trump pardoned J6, those arrested at J6. NBC calls them rioters. Okay, our buddy Stuart Parks was not a rioter. And yeah, he spent over 5 months in a medium security prison in Memphis, and they got pardoned by President Trump. Basically, the pardons did not extend to the individual who planted pipe bombs near the RNC and the DNC the previous day. Okay, that's something important. Now, there are others who've kind of been looked at. John Richter, R-I-C-H-T-E-R, the former Biden and Clinton staffer whom the FBI wrongfully questioned about the J6 pipe bomb case. This is the guy who was kind of considered, apparently, told NBC News Thursday morning he's received a bunch of texts from friends joking about the arrest of the actual suspect. My phone is blowing up, Richter said in a text message. Richter, as NBC News reported, was questioned by FBI special agents about his whereabouts on January 5th, 2021. Another man named John Richter was eventually arrested for storming the Capitol. That John Richter's friend had yelled Richter's name on the floor of the U.S. Senate, which appears to be what led the FBI to the D.C. Richter's door. Greg Rosen, who led the now-defunct Capitol Siege section of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, told NBC News Thursday morning the suspect's arrest is a reflection on the work of the type of career FBI special agents and prosecutors who have been targeted by the Trump administration for their work on January 6 cases. Okay, I don't think so. This is This is actually, I think, we listened to Stephen K. Bannon and Julie Kelly. They put a new team in there, right? We will let you know what happens in the press conference. I think this is important to talk about. But everybody should be very cautious about this. I am skeptical, just color me skeptical, that nearly 5 years after the event, think about this. What were you doing yourself on January 5th, 2021? Do you remember? Is there any evidence surrounding it? I think it's going to be very tough to make the case. You're going to have to look at the video very carefully. They did say that this particular suspect had certain shoes. I don't know. How long does it take you to get rid of your shoes? Yeah, you got to throw them away 5 years ago. When we come back, we have a resurgence of interest in a documentary that we've done, How the Deep State Took Down Richard Nixon. I talked about it with Stephen K. Bannon, and then I'll give you some more details on a breaking story that came out about this, actually again from NBC News. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, the website, TennesseeStar.com.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Our phone number 615-814-2848. 615-814-2848. Well, NBC News published an article about 5 days ago that cited a documentary that we produced here at the Star News Network. I narrated it. I narrated it. We used it. We based it on the work of Jeff Shepard, who was an author and an attorney, worked in the Nixon White House, and the script was co-written with our executive editor, Christina Boteria. The production was handled by our producer, the great Patrick Ahern, and it's a 90-minute clip. It's been featured on. It's distributed by War Room Films. How the deep state took down Richard Nixon. Now, NBC News, for some reason, decided that we released this in August, which was the 51st anniversary of Nixon's resignation. But they are trying to relitigate the case with this article that was published 5 days ago. The campaign to make Richard Nixon great again, the late president who resigned in disgrace in 1974, actually wasn't a crook. Pundits on the right argue, and they go on to cite our documentary. Not actually, they mention the documentary. They don't name it, and they don't link to it. I wonder why. Anyways, I was on Bannon, Tuesday. We were talking TN7, and in which, by the way, I predicted that Matt Van Epps would win that special election by 10 points. He won by 9 points. Not bad. But here we go. Bannon took the opportunity to talk about this NBC article and our documentary, How the Deep State Took Down Richard Nixon. Let's play this clip right now.
You triggered this on me to bring it up, Michael Patrick Leahy, because Jeff Shepard, there was a huge piece over the weekend, and it was linked to by a bunch of sites that's saying the refurbishment of Nixon, bringing Nixon's back, buffing up Nixon's image, and it really got down to you and Jeff Shepard, your documentary, really the use of lawfare, which we said it was kind of the predicate laid down of what they used against President Trump. It's absolutely extraordinary. I want to give a hat tip for you for making the documentary, for Jeff Shepard for doing all the research and writing the books all those years. Richard Nixon got railroaded, and not by the way you think, not by Woodward and Bernstein, not by any of the Hollywood thing you believe. This was Judge Sirica. It was the Justice Department. It was Maine Justice. It was the House committees with those left-wing lawyers talking to each other, getting up on whiteboards and plotting out things they had never done. They had meetings with the staff over at the judge's staff, things that were unheard of to railroad Richard Nixon out of his presidency. And I really want to give you a hat tip, Michael Patrick Leahy, for going to law school at night. The brother has a degree from Harvard College and Stanford Business School. He's going to law school at night, and now entranced enthralled by Jeff Shepard's theory of the case of lawfare against Richard Nixon, sir.
How the Deep State Took Down Richard Nixon. That film is distributed by War Room Films, so go to warroom.film. You can still see it there. It's still for free, and it's really, really good. 90 minutes. We make the case that it was, in fact, more than a dozen violations of the due process rights of Richard Nixon and the Watergate defendants that brought them down. And it's very clear a crooked judge, a crooked special prosecutor, and a loaded with Department of Justice under Kennedy and Johnson attorneys working for Archibald Cox and then Leon Jaworski that went in to take down Richard Nixon. Now, the NBC article is very long. They talk about the many conservative commentators who are saying it's time to reevaluate Nixon in Watergate. Let me continue with what they say at NBC News. Many of these conservative commentators rely on or feature Jeff Shepard, a former Nixon administration lawyer who's written for decades about the way he believes the president was wronged in the Watergate investigation. Bannon, who helped run Trump's first campaign and remains a loyal booster, provided his streaming subscribers with free access this past summer to a new documentary based on Shepard's work. Okay, that's interesting. They didn't. The documentary is called How the Deep State Took Down Richard Nixon. It comes from Michael Patrick Leahy Investigates and our Star News Network. And it's the work of Jeff Shepard, Michael Patrick Leahy, Christina Boteri, and our producer, Patrick Ahern. They somehow missed that link. I wonder why. In September, a historian spotted one of Shepard's Watergate books displayed prominently at the gift shop of the National Archives, which is currently managed by former head of the Nixon Foundation. A key piece of Shepard's argument is that the smoking gun tape is misunderstood. The tape is typically interpreted as showing that Nixon approved White House interference in the FBI probe into the DNC break-in. But according to Shepard, it was actually a narrow question as to whether investigators could look into the donations the Department of Justice had deemed outside the Watergate case. In other words, he writes on his website, it did not remotely prove that Nixon was in or on, or much less directing, the cover-up on Watergate from the outset. Yeah, that's true. Actually, stay tuned. We're going to have more on this. There might be a little bit more coming from us and Jeff Shepard on this argument. Hey, stick around. Up next, the one, the only official guest host of Michael Patrick Leahy show, Aaron Gulbinson. Yeah, we're going to talk about the TN7 special election and how all the leftist pundits got it wrong. Back with Aaron Gulbinson after this.
On Godzilla Wins, winning fever is spreading fast.
Had a winner last night. I just can't shake it.
The rash of winning picks is running rampant with game analysis that's nothing to sneeze at. Odds are, you take two Godzilla Wins best bets, parlayed with an over-under, you'll come out feeling like a winner. Godzilla Wins. Listen and watch Saturday mornings, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, on the stations and platforms of the John Fredericks Media Network and JFMN.TV.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis, AM 760, AM 730. The Flame.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Federal agents have made a breakthrough in the 2021 pipe bomb case. The FBI confirms the suspect is in custody nearly 5 years after explosive devices were planted outside the Democrat and Republican National Committee offices that happened the night before the Capitol riot. U.S. applications for unemployment benefits fell to their lowest levels in more than 3 years last week. The number of Americans who applied for jobless benefits down to 191,000 from the previous week's 218,000. That's according to the latest figures out today from the Labor Department. An Air Force fighter jet crashed in the Southern California desert yesterday. The pilot did manage to eject safely.
Military officials say a fighter jet with the Air Force's Thunderbirds demonstration squadron has crashed in the Southern California desert. The pilot managed to eject safely and is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The F-16C Fighting Falcon went down during a training mission Wednesday morning over controlled airspace.
That is Mike Hempen, who reports that fire crews did manage to respond to the crash site near Trona, about 180 miles north of Los Angeles in the Mojave Desert. New fuel standards aim to make life easier for car makers and cheaper for car buyers.
The administration has announced plans to roll back fuel economy standards for light-duty vehicles.
It was ridiculous, very expensive. It put tremendous upward pressure on car prices.
The Transportation Secretary said the Biden-era rules aimed at limiting air pollution were completely unattainable for automakers. If the plan is approved, new vehicles would need to average roughly 34 miles per gallon instead of 50. Greg Clugston, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now down by about 10 points. The high-tech NASDAQ is up 54. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-5454.
Here's Rich Thomason with Midday Wall Street Business Report.
Unemployment applications dropped to 191,000 last week. It's a more than 3-year low, and it could further complicate the Federal Reserve's upcoming decision on interest rates. Fed policymakers meet next week. Delta Airlines says the longest ever government shutdown cost it $200 million.
The shutdown began October 1st and caused long delays and flight cancellations at major airports. It was compounded by the FAA's emergency order requiring airlines to cancel up to 6% of domestic flights as more air traffic controllers called out of work, citing stress and need for supplemental income. CEO Ed Bastian says he's optimistic about strong bookings through the end of the year. George Williams reporting.
Wall Street opened the day not far from where it closed yesterday. I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The world of music has lost a great one.
You may not remember Steve Cropper's name, but how about some of the songs that he wrote and co-wrote, including Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, In the Midnight Hour, and many more. Cropper was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 as a member of Booker T and the MGs. He also became known to younger fans as the lead guitarist backing the Blues Brothers, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Steve Cropper is gone. He was 84. Jason Walker reporting.
An Albany County, New York jury has convicted a man who wore a clown mask and carried a chainsaw during a daytime walk through a neighborhood. A jury convicted 35-year-old Craig Walcott of first-degree menacing and third-degree criminal possession of a weapon after a 2-day trial. You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We welcome to our microphones right now the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, formerly our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star, now the executive director of the Tennessee Conservative Coalition, the one, the only, Aaron Gulbertson. Hello, Aaron.
I'm doing well. By the way, it is good to be joining you, especially today, which happens to be the 1-year anniversary of our great Attorney General's office arguing before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Which landmark case, obviously based on a law passed by Jack Johnson, our Senate Majority Leader, and William Lamberth, our House Majority Leader. And children are around, they basically saved children in the great state of Tennessee from being mutilated, and they set Supreme Court precedent.
I will be seeing Attorney General's Committee tonight, as well as the terrific professor of constitutional law at and also the Associate Justice, Circuit Court Justice here in Tennessee, Jeffrey Usman, at an event this evening at the Nashville School of Law about the Federalist Society.
Very cool.
And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I think this Tennessee 7 special election was perhaps the most misreported special election in modern political history. Because it was all, the Democrats are going to win. And then the Emerson push poll came out, the only real poll that was done in the district, and said, it's a virtual tie. They undersampled Republicans by 10%.
Well, and I'm glad that you and the Tennessee Star reported on this. But it was so funny. The second people, because those polls come out, my phone blows up. Aaron, what do you think? That's what always happens. And Emerson is kind of smart for a variety of reasons. Obviously they got attention on their polling and their name got out there. But so having done over 100 races in the Commonwealth of Virginia, when we saw an Emerson poll, whether it was a statewide or a local race, we always knew that they were biased towards the Democrats by somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 points.
Yeah, it was just a given.
Now, they threw out over the last couple election cycles nationally some polls that were a little more accurate than what they are in other races. So they certainly generated attention. Now, what they also did was they motivated the daylights out of the conservative ecosphere to unite nationally and get together and make sure that Matt Van Epps got across the finish line. He was sworn in this morning, by the way, so now we have Congressman Matt Van Epps. Quick turnaround. By the way, anybody who says that that our Secretary of State's office and our Commissioner of Elections doesn't do a good job will have to fight me, because we had this elections get certified. It's
and the information came in quickly.
Yep.
They're on top of it. We were talking about Secretary of State Trey Hargett and Mark
Goines is great.
Mark Goines has been, how long has he been in that job? Like 30 years? Long time?
It's been a while. He knows everything.
He knows the details. And he's very easy to deal with, by the way.
I think it's funny, too, because people are like, what's going on and turnout and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got Mark Goines' cell number. Just text him. Sorry, Mark. I know more people will text you in elections now.
But he's very good. Actually, he's very good.
Yeah, he's very good. Listen, Heritage Foundation rates Tennessee as #1 in the nation in terms of election integrity. We do a great job here.
And the numbers came in exactly. You and I had been talking about this a long time.
Yep.
And I think in the end, so I went on. I thought that it would be like a 5 or 6 point margin for Van Epps, but then when I heard all the details about the early voting. And learned that election day voting, learned that it would be basically more than the early voting. Then I upped my estimate to 10 points.
Yeah,
victory turns out to be 9.
Listen, and
but I think you said 10 also.
I said around. Yeah, I said I always thought it would. The consistent conversation I've been having, I was telling everybody I thought it'd be 8 to 10. I told you I thought it'd be 10 when you asked me for my hard prediction.
Yeah. By the way, I asked you for that prediction about 5 minutes before I went on Bannon.
Yeah.
So now I had others who said the same thing. But
now, and it's interesting how the campaign evolves, right? Because you had, let's just say, lesser experienced people that were freaking out at various points in time as well, because they probably were just a little too close to it. But, at the end of the day, it was weird because, I remember anecdotally talking to people that didn't know there was an election, had to be reminded several times. And these are people in the various places that I walk around in life, whether it's a cigar shop or grocery store or whatever that I would see. And they like to go, hey, did you see what Trump said the other day? And, people who kind of pay attention to politics. I don't think the voters woke up until after Thanksgiving anyway. And they probably weren't going to do it. But listen, I think, and there was a tweet, so I'm not saying anything out of school here, but I think that the general election, you had a very good candidate with Matt Van Epps. You had a very bad candidate. We can get into that with Afton Bain, the communist. But in terms of organizationally, you had, number one, the National Republican Congressional Committee, the NRCC, their team came in.
Let me just stop a moment and just say, I've heard this universally, that in the last 3 weeks of the campaign, the NRCC came in, and what's the name of the fellow who was involved in
Pablo Cuerto was the regional political director.
Pablo Cuerto is the guy, operationally, who made it happen, and who was able to get people out with volunteers on Election Day. And also, let's just say what a great job he did, because early voting was 84,000. 84,000 votes were cast in early voting. And Afton Bain won early voting by 2,500 votes. Pretty much what we expected.
Yeah.
But Election Day turnout, when I was on Bannon, I said it would be probably more than early voting. It was way more. 96,000 votes. 96,000 votes. On Election Day.
By the way, Williamson County did its job. 60% of the vote for Matt Van Epps.
The other thing to mention, so first, organizationally, the NRCC, and you have to credit Speaker Johnson for bringing in, but the NRCC's guy here did a great job.
It's the NRCC. It's MAGA Inc. With their really good ads, because the president, and that's directed by the president's team, essentially. You had Club for Growth coming in very, very strong. They were making sure that, and then Conservatives for American Excellence as well. They were making sure
other PACs.
That would be the top four, but I would give the NRCC, in terms of working with all of that ecosphere, as the coordinating factor.
But in addition, the conservative ecosphere, which would be our program, the Tennessee Star. I'll also credit WTN. And that's the local.
And then Fox News.
Stephen K. Bannon,
Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire did a great job. Clay Travis.
Yes,
Let me just.
Who lives in the district, by
the way.
Who
lives in the district. He said, look, you got to come out and vote, because I'm not going to let that crazy person win in my district.
And let's also not point out, because the leader of the Republican Party in our state, in terms of the spiritual and reality leader, in my opinion, is our great U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Yes.
And so she was everywhere for Matt Van Epps, and she was, they were pushing hard, raising money for him, making sure that he got across the finish line.
And he did, and he's sworn in today. And at a swearing-in ceremony, guess who was sitting right next to him?
Marsha Blackburn.
Yeah, Marsha Blackburn, Tim Burchett, and Andy Ogles, right next to him. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the attempt at glamorizing and country musicizing Afton Bain, which is hilarious. We got a clip, by the way, of her attempting to sing, which don't do it in Nashville if you're not, beyond fabulous. But okay. Anyways, more with Aaron Gulbertson on what really happened in the TN7 special election.
folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, Aaron Goldmanson. Okay, now you're going to get the inside story on what really happened in that TN7 race. Okay, so the first thing I have to say is the Democrats' effort to claim some sort of victory after getting defeated fairly handily by 9 points in a race where now our best guess, we don't know the exact number. My best guess is, so far from what we've seen, that the forces behind Afton Bain spent a little over $6 million. I think it's probably more on her campaign. You've heard higher numbers, right?
I've seen it where, so I just did a quick search. It looks, the math that I just did, it looks like around 10 million, but there are other places where I've seen as much as 20. This is one of those things too, I think, where you have to sift through, you know, what was spent to say go quote unquote vote for Afton Bain versus what was spent by lefty groups to turn out their voters, which are two different things. Even though they're two different things, but they're the same.
They accomplish
essentially.
the same purpose. Yeah, but the other thing is, I think on Van Epps, total is about $4 million.
Yeah.
So he was significantly outspent in this race.
Yeah.
Now let's go back. This is a special election on December the 2nd.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to the general election in the presidential election in 2024. Mark Green won by about 21 points. Okay. How much who was his opponent? Nobody remembered. It was Megan Barry, I think. How much did she spend? Not much.
Wait, you're all right. First of all, let me since I like to use pro wrestling analogies, and I encourage you to ask this question of Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs next time you have him on the show. There is a trope in pro wrestling, especially for high-profile championship title matches, which is what a general election is, especially for a congressional district, where the bad guy, the heel, will lose. They will somehow, and this is all storyline, but they will, and I'm watching this play out going, politics and wrestling are so dang similar. So Afton Bain, bad guy, loses, right? Pro wrestling heel loses, claims victory.
You're right.
Says they really won for X, Y, and Z reason, and that they're the quote-unquote real champion, right?
Correct.
And that is what the Democrat ecosphere, the left-stream Marxist media, that's what Team Commie Afton Bain is doing. Also, as a note, Justin Jones never endorsed her.
Little personal animosity there between the two. Allegedly. They were very close, and then they weren't. Allegedly, right?
I mean, I can tell you what they tell me. If you want.
Oh, no. This is a family show. But
I wasn't going to go there. I was going to simply point out how they used to spend time together.
So here's the thing to talk about. Outspending Matt Van Epps by 2-1 and bringing all these various groups to, quote, get out the vote, which they did, and paying and bringing in, a couple hundred little operatives from around the country to do it, to claim that in a special election, going from a 12-point, from a 21-point loss to a 9-point loss is some big deal. It's not a big deal at all.
By the way, and I will add, since you reminded me of something. What always happens when you have a race like this, and we saw this happen, little postcards were going out that were handwritten. You had unions all around the country that were putting people, and you can't track this.
Yeah.
They were sending out handwritten postcards. They were putting rooms together, college Democrats, the Democrats, Republicans nationalized it in the right way, but Democrats nationalized it in terms of bodies and that kind of thing, doing work too.
So what's also interesting is if you look at kind of the physical presentation of Afton Bain, take a look at the little video she did bullying ICE people and all the other little clips. She looks a little rough, let's just say. Now contrast that with the Hollywood-style glamorized version of Afton Bain, when all she's talking about is not getting rid of police, not approving transgender surgeries for young children. She's talking about affordability. Then, the hair and makeup expense for her was very high, I
think they finished out their campaign budget on the rhinestone outfit.
Okay, so then on the concession speech, which she treated like a victory speech, she shows up in a rhinestone cowgirl outfit.
Yep.
Clearly, trying to bring for the girl who hates country music, the woman who hates country music, hates Nashville. Now all of a sudden she's trying to do a modern interpretation of Dolly Parton. So much so, and I'm going to play this clip. You may not have seen it, but let me just play this clip. So they have the music of 9 to 5, which is ironic. I'll get to that in a bit. They're playing 9 to 5, and she then starts singing to it in her rhinestone cowgirl outfit and her, glammed up look. Here we go. Let's play this clip right now. So she's doing the karaoke along with Dolly Parton. Now, anybody who's lived in Nashville for more than 6 weeks knows that the level of musical talent here is off the charts. I mean, you may come from any little town. You come from Smallville, Kansas, where you are the best singer in Smallville, Kansas. You will be lucky if you're a waiter or a waitress in any restaurant in Nashville to be in the top 5 of the singers who are waiting at that restaurant. And she was a little bit off key there.
There's several talented musicians in the General Assembly itself, by the way, and she doesn't shine a candle to any of them. No, I mean, this actually, honestly, what she pulled there was we could devote an hour to it.
Cultural appropriation.
It was cultural. Yeah, there you go. It was cultural appropriation. It was when I saw that, I was like, first of all, they're mocking. There's some Democrat staffer sitting around thinking this would be hilarious to mock the voters that just elected Matt Van Apps, is what they're doing. Secondly, I'm sure being, what is she, Gen Z? Whatever one of these.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Whatever
like
weird.
37 or so.
No, she's not that old. She looks that old, but she's not that old. I think she might just be 30. But
okay.
But anyway, so, but it was, you could tell, like, her whole motif with the makeup and the outfit, it was like, I'm gonna just have my night. That's how she's like, I'm gonna have my night. It's gonna be my prom night, my country music cosplay prom night. I'm gonna pretend for the night that I don't actually hate the great state of Tennessee. And to be very clear, I mean, hating Tennessee, hating conservatism is not unique to Afton Bain. It is the entire Democrat Party. There is not there are no Democrats in our state. There's a reason they get so much attention. I mean, the Democrat Party here is Afton Bain. That was their great shining star here. And, the moderate in the Democrat primary was Bo Mitchell. Has anybody ever seen Bo Mitchell talk on the floor of the State House?
She, by the way, is 36 years old.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, she carries herself like she's 12. So, I mean, that's maybe why I thought she was 30. I was giving her, all right, so she's 36. Well, all right. Well, when... Yeah.
But here it's interesting.
Justin Jones is only 26. Anyway.
Let's go to this.
I'm not even being bad, Michael.
I know. You're being very nice. You're being very nice. So here's the interesting phenomenon. She's on tape saying she hates Nashville. Now, remember, Nashville is Davidson County, one of the 14 counties here. But this is interesting. If you look at the vote that she got, let's combine early voting with election day voting. She got like 32,000 votes in Nashville.
Yeah.
And Matt Van Epps got like 9,000. So that's like 77%.
Well, listen, I think we've talked about this many times. Nashville, the political apparatus, is controlled by the Democrats. You have communist Mayor Freddie O'Connell, who was doxing ICE agents through his official city government organs. So you have Afton Bain. I mean, these Democrat elected officials, the funny thing is when they sit around in rooms together, they know that their voters are suckers. They hate their voters.
They do hate them.
They don't. Yeah. They all they are to them are numbers on a board on election day. And unfortunately,
are you suggesting that 77% of Nashville voters are in the category of abused voters?
Yes,
I think they do. Yeah.
No, it's like an abused spousal relationship.
Yeah,
because,
it is.
And listen, this is not unique. We're talking. This is every blue city, right?
Right. Yeah,
all the blue city voters.
Ironically, though, the fact that she hates Nashville powered the vote against her in the other 13 counties.
Well, she's probably going to abandon Nashville and run statewide now.
Well, okay. Now we'll get to what's next for her and what's next for the midterms. But we'll talk a little bit about what Afton Bain will do next and will she succeed. Back with Aaron Goldmanson after this.
everyone. EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
You're getting the inside story about what really happened in the Tennessee 7 special election. Well, what really happened, to quote NFL coach Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are.
Yep.
And there's no such thing as a 6-10 team that's really a good team. They're a 6-10 team. And Matt Van Epps won by 9 points, and he is the congressman from the Tennessee 7th District as we speak. Now, we were talking a little bit about Afton Bain, who, is left-wing lunatic, but is, I think, that's what the Democrat Party is today around the country. Would you agree?
Show me the JFK Democrat that exists.
There's
show
no
me.
son.
Show
Even
me
his grandson's a nutcase.
Yeah.
I mean,
Show me.
Schlossberg.
I mean, there is no such thing. They've gone. They're not slouching towards Gomorrah and the Democrat Party. They've taken the rocket ship, dove into Gomorrah, and they did it about 10 years ago.
And they are energized in their lunacy. I mean,
because it's the midterms. First of all, to be clear, what we're about to experience next year is the Republican voters and the Donald Trump supporters can't be lazy. That's the thing. The Democrats are angry.
That is a bit of a lesson from
anger
TN7.
is the single greatest motivator.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are angry because Donald Trump is in power.
Yeah, very angry.
That's what they hate, and they hate Republicans, and they hate America, so they're going to be more motivated objectively to go vote.
We will get to the midterms here in a bit, but let's now talk about Afton Bain.
Yes.
As, in essence, the modern Democrat Party. I mean, Zoran Mondani Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Afton Bain. That's the modern Democrat Party.
Yes.
So if you watched her in her, quote, concession speech, I mean, she was singing Dolly Parton, wearing a rhinestone cowgirl outfit. And in her phone call to Matt Van Epps, instead of graciously saying, congratulations, job well done, she lectured him on the need to put more subsidies into Obamacare, right? But she is energized. She has a national platform to a degree. She can raise money. Now, I think I know what her next political steps will be in 2026, but I'd like to see what your guess is as to what she does.
My guess is some statewide office she runs for. I think we've discussed this, but something along the lines of what Gloria Johnson has previously done, which is run statewide while running for re-election of the state house seat at the same time, because you can still do that. Which, by the way, the General Assembly just needs to
They need to change that, but just so
outlaw that outright.
For our listeners, in the state of Tennessee, a political, an elected official can run for a state office and a federal office at the same time.
Yes.
It's bizarre, but it can be done. Gloria Johnson ran for a state rep and for U.S. Senate at the same time. Now, the governorship is not a federal office.
Right.
And so in terms of statewide, there's really only one statewide federal office. There are other federal offices here. I think she's going to pull a Gloria Johnson. No surprise there. And I think she will run for re-election as a state representative. And in that district, she'll win easily. But she will also run for a federal statewide office. And now it doesn't, she's not going to run, well, she could run again against Matt Van Epps, but there's no upside for it because her best shot at winning that district was this special election.
Yeah, because you're going to have, just to fast forward, so when we talk about the midterms, and there may be some doom and gloom discussed, there may be bright spots discussed, one thing that's for certain in the state of Tennessee is November of 2026 is going to be a very, very good day for everyone with an R next to their name. You will see, as I'm forecasting, you will see Governor Marsha Blackburn elected.
Yeah.
And yes, there is the August primary, but
there is a primary.
Marsha's going to win that very, very handily. You will see, and this is where we're getting to the possible office, you will see U.S. Senator Bill Hagerty reelected, possibly against a Democrat nominee named Afton Bain, because that's the only statewide federal office you could run for. You will see every last Republican in the federal delegation reelected that day. You will see, you will, and the way I don't see really any General Assembly seat getting flipped from R to D either. So,
yeah, I think the D's will kind of maintain. I don't think there'll be a lot of flips of R to D.
Maybe, I mean, there could,
a couple maybe.
There's always, but governor's turnouts also, if you had the marginal seats. We always look at John Gillespie's seat in the Memphis area, right? He won re-election under presidential turnout. I think you'll see. I think he'll be reelected
because the Memphis task force, safe task force, is popular. Okay, so here's the thing about Afton Bain. Afton Bain is, you can tell she's feeling that all of the lunatics who are in the Democrat Party around the country are saying, yeah, let's make her another member of the squad. Let's make her another Zoran Mamdani. It's to me the logical thing for her to do would be to simultaneously run for state rep and run for U.S. Senate against Bill Hagerty.
Yeah, and then
because they don't have anybody. There's no. Is there anybody of note who's announced they're running against Bill Hagerty?
No, there hasn't.
Yeah.
And
So-
this is one of those conversations where you're sitting here going, "Oh, great! I hope we don't manifest it." But because Bill Hagerty is one hell of a U.S. senator. And by the way, there would probably be a gulf of IQ points in that general election of about 80.
Well,
Bill Hagerty is one of the smartest U.S. senators.
We're
we have
not
in the country.
manifesting it. We're just saying what my guess is she's likely to do, because she'll be able to raise more money by saying she's running for the U.S. Senate.
Well, theoretically, yes. I will point out she'll raise local Democrat money. To be clear, there is not going to be an ounce of national Democrat money spent in the great state of Tennessee for general elections in 2026. They're going to be targeting other states that are more easy.
Well, there's one. You're quite right about that, because there's no hope that there'd be any. The best shot for her to win a federal office has come and gone.
Yeah.
But there may be some national money coming in the Democrat primary in Memphis between Justin Pearson.
Yeah.
And the old left-wing white guy there, Steve Cohen.
There will be money the same type of money that helped Ocasio-Cortez win her primary years ago, to help Justin Pearson. Now, this is the irony of the situation. I will give you inside baseball as always exists. It would shock people to know that there's jealousy amongst prominent Democrats.
I'm shocked.
So
I'm shocked.
Justin Pearson and Justin Jones don't like each other.
Well, they hate each other. Actually.
They absolutely hate each other. Justin Jones and Afton Bain hate each other. Justin Pearson and Afton Bain don't quite hate each other but they don't really like each other either. So let's just put it this way:
look at me, I'm the leader.
They all want the biggest microphone.
Really?
That's what it is. I remember a prominent political consultant pointing out to me years ago when you had 4 prominent Democrats on a stage in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Terry McAuliffe was one of them, and saying, this is such an interesting thing to watch on TV. All of them hate each other. It was Tim Kaine, Mark Warner, and McAuliffe, and one other, and Don Beyer, I think, was up there.
Right.
But yeah, they all, and that's the thing. They all use the same talking points, but those guys, they hate each other. And by and large, it's not quite that way on the Republican side. You have your pseudo.
You have rivalries.
You have rivalries, but there isn't that. And here, because the reason the Democrats whine about being in the super minority is they can't enact their Marxist communist agenda, and but they're also ironically have an outsized access to media outlets.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because
they really do. CNN, MS,
because when the organized paid protesters come into town every year during the General Assembly, all the media covers them. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have much to write about that day. But those protesters can't get anything done, thank God, other than plot, plan, and try to disrupt. But Afton Bain is never going to pass any of her crazy legislation. Thank God, because we have a Republican supermajority, and our state should export some of our.
Tennessee needs to lead the way for the country.
We do. We have been. I mean, we just started off this. Well, we started off my portion of the show with talking about what Tennessee did on the national stage a year ago today. So.
Let's talk about the midterms here before in the remainder of the segment. I think that Justin Pearson will beat Steve Cohen in the Democrat primary.
I think so too.
But that means that district will be a little bit more in play. Yeah. I think. I think it's a bit of an outside shot. Total outside shot.
Well, listen, and then the Republicans can use the craziness of Justin Pearson, who will try to be the male Ocasio-Cortez with less testosterone. We use his crazy ideas and raise money and that kind of thing. But
okay, so midterms, there are a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, the Republicans are going to lose control of the House." Wah, wah, wah. I don't see that, but I do think that the Republican Party around the country needs to, at the local level, do the same kind of get out the vote that the NRCC was able to do here in the special election.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a full court press from our side.
Well, this is pretty easy. Go look at the map for the U.S. Senate races. On a terrible day, the Republicans lose 3 seats and still maintain majority in the U.S. Senate, in my opinion.
On a terrible day.
On a terrible day.
Yeah.
There is a possibility of holding the line and possibly getting 1 or 2. Of course, you got to nominate the right candidates. On the U.S. House races, historically speaking, Republicans should lose seats, but we've got a long way to go. And you're right. If we start organizing now, and the other thing is that
redistricting too.
Yeah, that's also very important. You have to nominate the right candidate.
Yeah,
you have to nominate the strong principled conservatives who, as Matt Van Epps said in his speech, which was very important to note, that do not run away from President Trump. That work with President Trump. And by the way, I've seen Matt Van Epps speak several times. His victory speech election night was by far the best speech he's given, and it was very good.
It was on point. And he hit at the very beginning, this is a victory for Donald Trump.
Yes.
That was right. That was the right note to hit.
And it was. I mean,
he's going to do a very good job.
Yeah. No, I listen, that's the job of a congressman right now is to hold the line for the president, and that's going to be very easy for him to do.
Oh, wait till we come back. I've got some really good news potpourri. Back with Aaron Goldmanson and News Potpourri after this. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, the website, TennesseeStar.com.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, the one, the only, Aaron Colbinson. Aaron, guess what time it is?
I think it's News Potpourri.
It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program where we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, but may have a touch of
irony.
Okay, I'm going to lead with the irony here. Are you ready? This is a story from the Daily Mail. Firebrand Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, I would have said lunatic, not firebrand, refusing to pay $3,000 in condo bills while lavishing vast sums on luxury hotels. Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has refused to pay more than $3,000 on an unpaid lien against her swanky Dallas condominium, according to newly released court records. She owed $3,000 to the West Side Condominium Association for over a year. The lien, which gives the association a legal claim on the unit and blocks the 44-year-old from selling the property until her debt is paid off. We don't have any comment from her on that. What do you think?
I don't know. I like to go on Drudge Report every now and then and look at the latest episode of Gaslighting in America, and one of their headlines is 98% of diplomats have broken morale under Trump. Just
oh,
it's like we're
broken morale. How do you measure broken morale? It's another kind.
By the way, former New York Times reporter Barry Weiss, who had a kind of an awakening during the COVID stuff, is set to make her on-air debut on CBS with a town hall with Erica Kirk.
That'll be good. That's a good move on her part. Although, after she took over, they did this 13-minute clip on the Kilmar Begos Garcia story. They got it all wrong.
Yeah, of course.
I've invited her to give us 13 minutes on 60 Minutes to rebut it. When the phone didn't ring, I knew it was Barry Weiss. But hey, I do have something in common with Barry Weiss. Do you see this little prize I'm holding up here? The Dow Prize. This is the new Pulitzer Prize. The Dow Prize is a national award that we got at the Tennessee Star, Tom Pappert, Christina Botteri, and I, for best local journalism for our reporting on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. So I have something in common with Barry.
Yep.
She received a Dow Prize for a National Dow Prize for Journalism, along with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberg in 2023.
By the way, speaking of Tom Pappert, he tweeted about it publicly, so this is not inside baseball. But he apparently was a post was he shared a post done by the Williamson County Conservatives Coalition that was discussing Matt Van Epps' race, and Facebook didn't like it, and apparently suspended his account. So more digging needs to be done into it.
What did Meta not like about this
I don't
post?
understand it, because they did not suspend the original post, and they didn't do anything. It's just he posted it, and it was literally explaining that the DC lefty journalism corps got the race wrong. It was very interesting that was.
That's the truth.
It wasn't.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a breaking story. It won't surprise you, but where's it go? Federal court office declines request for Judge James Boasberg. He's the guy who hates Trump and really is about to be impeached. Articles of impeachment for numerous missteps. Declined request for Boasberg to testify in Senate hearing on rogue judges. Basically, he said, "I'm not going to testify before the Senate." I don't know what the rationale is. And by the way, if you receive a subpoena from the Senate to come and testify and you refuse, that's called contempt of Congress. Oh, and if your name is Stephen K. Bannon And even though, I mean, he refused to testify because he said it was violate executive privilege. And then when Trump waived it, he said, I'll testify. They said, it's too late. And the lawfare, the weaponized Department of Justice, prosecuted him and Peter Navarro, put them both in prison for 4 months. Is Judge Boasberg getting special treatment that Steve Bannon didn't?
It could appear to be that way.
Okay, is there any wrestling news that I've missed?
Any wrestling
WWE?
News? Any WWE news? No, but TNA Impact Wrestling, where my old business partner Frankie Kazarian is the is the world champion. There is they just made a big TV deal with AMC, and of course they also have they were originally based in Nashville, but they're a national international company, and they do international touring, and they have a working relationship with WWE. So that was the one off the top of my head.
I got one for you here. Diego Pavia, the great quarterback for Vanderbilt, who should be in the Heisman Trophy race. Maybe he'll get invited. Did you see this? He sent a letter to President Trump. He said, because Vanderbilt, now they have a 12-team college football playoff to see the championship. Vanderbilt's kind of going to not make it right now because they're like 13 or 14. He sent the president a letter, said, Mr. President, would you please sign an executive order requiring the NCAA to expand the field to 16 so Vanderbilt can get in? I kind of like the. Yeah. I mean, obviously, people are saying, "Oh, he didn't understand the Constitution." This is about publicity.
I will point out a local thing ever since, and I know are aware of it, and the Federalist covered it, and I believe you covered it too. But the Emily Orberson, the teacher, that was rehired, paid, and then resigned. The leadership of in Franklin, the leadership of the Williamson County School Board has still been silent on that issue. I personally think that one of the litmus tests that need to occur for the May elections is candidates need to come out and state that they want to fire the superintendent of the Williamson County Public Schools, Jason Golden. The bureaucrats do not run the show. They should not. They should answer to the people and the elected officials who represent the people.
That's a much longer discussion, but it's a very good point, and I wouldn't be surprised if some candidates come out and do exactly what you said.
Wouldn't be shocked.
All right, Aaron Gobelson, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, as always.
We'll go back to Rob Carson. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. Our website, TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Thanks for joining us today.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
Flatfeenashville.com, flatfeenashville.com.